Welcome to the Manuchehri Show, where energy and medicine meet. I will be your host for the next hour. I have over 19 years of healthcare experience and began my career as an energy medicine practitioner while working as an oncology nurse at a Seattle area hospital. My skill in moving energy combined with my medical background have been a catalyst for change in many people's lives. I hope the next hour will be transformative for you as well. Good morning and welcome to the Marie Manuchehri Show. We're live in Seattle. Benny and Jen are in the studio in Bellevue, and I'm in my home office in Bothell. And today is one of those days where I get to interview people who I believe are on the leading edge of thought, something that brings me great joy. I believe there are many voices out there, and you shouldn't just listen to mine, which makes life a lot more interesting. So today I'm going to be interviewing, and I have before actually, is Tisha Morris. Not only is she an author of 5 books and more counting, she's also an entertainment attorney living in LA, which has got to be super exciting. She is the founder of Morris Entertainment Law, where she represents diverse voices in publishing, TV, and film. Very exciting. Tisha holds a degree in law, economics, and interior design with certifications in yoga, feng shui, coaching. She advises and represents clients using her entrepreneurial skills and master knowing, along with your very strong and beautiful intuition, which is also extremely wonderful and exciting. Tisha is a member of the Beverly Hills Bar Association, Women in Film, and the co-ambassador to the Authors Guild Los Angeles. She has been featured in ABC's Live with Kelly and Ryan, Hay House Radio, Today.com, and ABC News. Tisha is originally from Nashville and is now based in LA. When not representing clients, she lives with her wife, Poodle, 2 stepcats, and works on becoming a legal thriller novelist one day, which I can't wait to read all of those books. So you have the wife, the poodle, the cats, and a lot of exciting activity going on, along with representing people in the entertainment world. I bet you have a lot of stories. Welcome to the show, Tisha. I bet you have a lot of fun stories you could share with us.
Oh, thank you so much, Marie. Thank you for that introduction. And there's a lot of interesting stories in my life and in my clients' lives. Absolutely. I wouldn't want it any other way.
And your newest book, Missing Element, Hidden Strength, which I think is pure genius. It's based on Taoism. Which, as I was reading your book, I'm like, I feel like I'm in my Qigong class right now, because Qigong comes from Taoism. So,
that's right.
Right? So
that's right.
Full of all of that movement and letting go and realigning constantly. And I love this concept of this book, at least what I understand about it, is allowing a person to actually move into that creative energy. I'm sure it has many aspects. You say here that it can help you reveal the ancient art of the 5 elements is the key to organizing insanely effective teams, creating harmonious collaborations, and finding your own flow and balance amidst our challenging world to up-level your life and work. And you begin the book talking about the pandemic and that how, we found out from this invisible virus, it just took our world under, literally.
Right. Yeah. And it really is kind of what Taoism speaks to. And I thought it was a good time for us to turn as a collective to turn to ancient wisdom, because Taoism, it sees that all living things have to basically get along harmoniously. And I think that was a hard lesson for us, that we as humans are not always in control and that this invisible thing can just completely catapult our lives. And so beginning to look to nature as a teacher, as a template. So that kind of was the why I knew now was the time for this book. And also in a practical way, now that so many people are working from home, kind of alone in our little micro universe, and having to really pull on our inner resources now more than ever. And so part of the book is geared toward, actualizing our own 5 elements, which is our own inner resources. I call like your board of directors, so to speak, in addition to collaborating with others. And as you mentioned, team building as well. So really making it a win-win-win, a win for me, a win for you, and a win for the planet.
Yeah, perfectly so well said. For those of us who've worked from home, we figured it out years ago, and you have to do a lot of adjusting, and you have to be extremely creative. You have to have backup plans. You don't have like a big, IT person or group behind you to come in and organize everything. So you really
Right.
have to start trusting your inner wisdom
That's right.
so significantly. In your book, you talk about that not this is going to help with everything, obviously, but creative process, writing process. I can't wait till we talk about that. Creative blocks, personal development, work environment, working from home, personality tests. That's also interesting. Collaborations and team building. So finally, people, through the help of this book, can actually finish projects they've started, which is a really big deal because a lot of creative people do get excited, which we're going to find out as we talk about these elements here and your definitions of them. We get excited sometimes, but then, finishing it is a whole nother process. How to start projects that scare you. I love that one. How to stay the course in any creative endeavor, which is wonderful. How to best collaborate and work in creative projects. How to form insanely productive teams. Yeah, so which is important because once you start working from home, and if your career gets really busy, you have a lot of people that end up helping you, and you have to manage them. You talk about that in your book, that you wear many, many hats. So how can this beautiful process help us with all of our hats?
So as you mentioned, there's a personality quiz, and that quiz is not. When I wrote a book around a personality quiz, I was like, do we really need another personality quiz? There's the Enneagram. There's so many diagnostic tools that we have at our fingertips. But my point of it is, number one, we are all 5 of these elements. However, we lead with or have more what I call the softball life gives you one of these elements. It's what I call our primary elements. And this is what we're best at, which are kind of our go-to. But the quiz actually ranks you among all 5. And so that lowest one is what I call your missing element. And that's the element that we usually get hung up on in writing a book or starting a podcast or whatever the case is, that we're even in a relationship. The beginnings of a relationship follow the 5 element cycle. And so how we do one thing is how we do everything. And so this missing element shows up or kind of follows us, and we begin to make stories around it, like, I'm not a good speaker, or I'll never finish a book, or whatever the case is. But it's actually your missing element that you're referring to. And so the book will help you identify what that element is, and then ways to begin to integrate it within yourself, so it's not this albatross, this shadow, and you can start manifesting, achieving, however you want to think of it, more easily and more consciously.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, everybody should run out and get this book immediately, because it's so true. Like, some of us have a lot of fire. We know that from our astrology. We understand aspects of ourselves, or maybe we have a lot of earth, but we don't have enough water. So in these 5 elements, wood, fire, earth, metal, water, I love your definitions of them. I never thought of wood as the arousing element for some reason, although in your book you described that it's the very first element because it's when you take your first breath, something of that nature.
Coming out of the womb, just us signing up for life is our inner wood element coming out of the womb, literally the womb being the water element phase, which is closest to God, closest to spirit, the unseen. And then when our head breaches, then that's the beginning of the wood phase, birth. And that's the beginning of yang energy. And we first see the tangible evidence of those seeds that were planted during the winter phase. We all have this inner leader, inner pioneer within us. And some continue to lead with that energy, and some, the other elements become more prominent in our personalities. But that is the beginning of the seen manifested energy.
Do you think that's why some people can be really good at starting things if they have a lot of that element?
100%. I am a card carrying wood element.
Yeah, I'm right with you. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So fire's the second one, the way you have it written in your book, and you call it the clinging. I find that so fascinating. Why would you describe it that way, the fire element?
So those words that you're the list that you're looking at now are actually the origin from the I Ching.
Oh.
So these 5 elements originated originally from the I Ching, which comes out of Taoism, which is the quintessential book, so to speak.
It's an ancient document.
Ancient.
My family
So
has been using the I Ching for years. So yeah, it's very old. Yes.
absolutely. And so those are the original words that have been translated. I kind of use a little even more modern of kind of using archetypal language around them. So the wood being the pioneer, fire being the manifester. So the fire phase is when the most yang energy is expressed. It's the height of a project. It's when you're pounding out this 80,000 word manuscript or shooting the film on location. It's when you're using the most amount of energy, and that's the fire phase, and you have to be committed. And fire people are very, very excited. They're the ones, the cheerleaders that keep you going and say, you're doing great, keep going. Those are our fire people.
Wow, I love it. And I think that's why I'm so attracted to what you placed in here to the I Ching, because my mother would get out the I Ching all the time and we'd throw pennies
Yep.
and read, these beautiful, you have to look it up. It's very complicated actually.
Yeah.
And the language is not modern, so you kind of have to read between the lines to understand it. This is beautiful. So then I'm going to use the I Ching, and then you can use this your modern, because I think it's cool that we're bringing all this energy in.
Yeah.
And then the earth is the standstill.
Yeah. And that's when energy, or yin and yang. So in the throwing pennies, like you said, became a later adoption of a divination tool. And the pennies, it's the head and the tails, right? Well, that's yin and yang energy. And so if yin and yang were to have children, it would be the 5 elements. And so the earth element is where yin and yang are exactly 50-50. So the energy is at a kind of a standstill, a still point. And we might think that, that's the ultimate balance. And we may think that that's the goal in life, but really energy comes to a standstill when things are 50-50. So there has to be movement one way or another. Same if there's a tie in an election, like something's got to move here.
Yeah. As we're all watching the House votes unravel, right? But this is actually so important because, like you said, you have to get to that place. And what if you can't get to that place? What if you're bringing too much feminine and not enough masculine?
That's right. Yeah. So the fire phase, hit its peak yang energy. We come to that standstill. And so our earth element people are those people who do want to bring balance. So they really thrive on harmony. It's the mother archetype who wants all their children to get along. And they hold that space, that space for all the other elements to play on. So the earth element phase of a project is when you've it's time to set it aside, let it rest, and begin to maybe even get feedback, or thinking about the practicality of the earth elements, very practical, the monetization of a project. That's the phase of that.
Such an important aspect that as a wood fire person, it's not my favorite place.
Yep, same.
Right? And yet it's so critical. It's like so incredibly critical. Otherwise, you're never going to really finish your project. Really, really. I'm so curious, metal, and of course, here in this old ancient phrase, the joyous.
Yeah, metal gets a bad rap, but I'm wood and metal, so I'm coming more and more into my metal, particularly the more legal work I do. It's very detail oriented, and so once the energy is at that still point, then it starts to retract and begin that yin energy, where similar to in the fall when the leaves begin to fall off the tree, it's reached its peak energy and it has to begin to dissipate. But what's beautiful about this phase is that it's actually where architects and designers are usually metal elements, because they can see what can be extracted to make this project even better.
So kind of like the marketing team in a way.
Yeah, absolutely.
The colors, the right phrases.
So, decluttering, an editor is basically a decluttering of words, or if it's a film editor, editing out the parts that are not as important so that the nutrients can remain. The metal element rules our intestines, actually. And so separating nutrients from waste, that's what the metal element phase is for.
Oh my gosh, that is, and it's a lot of different phases. I think this is so important because a lot of people think you just wake up one day, you write a whole book, and you find a great agent or a lawyer to represent you, and the publisher says yes and it's all done. And it's really not like that. It's
Right.
years of processing,
That's right.
And then the abysmal, which is the water element, which
Yeah.
of course it's like the pre-birth section, but it's also explain more to us.
Yeah, it's everything ends and begins in the water phase. So a project completes in the water phase, but it also, that's where the idea is planted. So winter, represented by winter, when there's no leaves on the tree, everything's bare. We actually can access our inner voice, unless you live, in the Western world at all, and then you can't at all. But ideally, it's the season where you go within and you really tap in and you get those ideas, and they kind of drop out of nowhere, which is the water phase. And you start to plant those seeds. Again, it's the unseen phase. And we start all back around in the cycle. So what's beautiful about the 5 elements and what makes it different from other elemental systems is that it's the cycle of birth, death, and rebirth, and really creativity.
I love it. I love the way you're describing it too, because I think most people are just tired about, okay, I just have to manifest this. I just have to run my energy high. I just have to ignore everybody else. I have to, and then that's kind of exhausting because people are, almost running their energy in some sort of unhealthy, high pitch frequency that really is not a manifesting aspect. It's kind of destructive.
Exactly. And I think a lot of times when you think about manifesting, and when it doesn't pan out, so to speak, and maybe the timing's just not right, or maybe it's not meant to be. Well, more likely you've rubbed up against your missing element phase that's uncomfortable, or you just can't seem to get past, so to speak. For example, for myself, it's the fire element phase. Like we were saying, I love quick start. I love starting new projects. I get very excited. I love the ideas and starting them. But when it comes to actually committing, full commitment, going all the way in, right. That's why I have a ton of books that I've started on my computer. But and obviously I've completed books because they've gotten published, but it takes a lot for me to get through that fire phase. And so I know that now. And now I can either really pull on my own fire, go back to my why, which is in the water phase of why this project's important to me. My wife is a fire element, so I can get her to help cheerlead me on. This is where partnerships and collaborations can really help you out of knowing that you need that extra elemental help. Perhaps for some, it might be that metal phase of getting an editor to help you be able to kind of cut things out. So yeah, it's we don't have to be all things to at all times, but knowing where we kind of again rub up against those rough spots, and maybe draw in some extra inner or external resources.
I couldn't agree more, because if you can identify it, then you can go, okay, next, I need my help. I need, I need to reach out to the coach. You coach people, of course, in all of these aspects, and all of them, and help them in publishing and TV and film and everything. And then you're a lawyer on top of it, which is great, because trying to read legal documents, especially if they're in old English, which they should never be, it's hard work. It's not easy. So what inspired you to write this beautiful, amazing book that I think is going to help so many people to get the fire going under the right element?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So what inspired
you? The title dropped into me many years ago in the water phase of me just taking an afternoon walk. And I just heard this title drop in, and I knew what it was referring to, because I, as a feng shui practitioner, work with the 5 elements. And so I realized in that title, I was like, oh, we've been focusing on our primary element, but what about our missing element? And so I jotted it in my phone notes, and then it was several years later. I think I even had another book published before then. And then with the beginning of the pandemic, it was like, you know what, it's time for this book to come out. So
smart. So that was really your inspiration, was the pandemic and everyone suffering. Because I mean, some people, like, I wasn't suffering. I already worked from home. I like the quiet. It was fine for me, but not for a lot of other people. And they had to reorganize their lives, not to mention all the people who became ill and all the people we lost and are
Yeah.
continuing to lose, actually, through this, challenging virus. So on the book, you also talk about what if the secret to your success could be found in nature, which I really think is so helpful to everyone to kind of look at it from a natural aspect, because everything comes from nature.
Mhm.
And I'm sure that you deeply described in your book, because I haven't read every page, but I will be reading every single page from cover to cover, that this can also help people with their intuitive process. Because I loved what you said, how the title just dropped into your brain. And as people who are intuitive, we pay attention to those signs. We know to follow them. We may not, unless we read your book, know how to get fully through the process of it. But our intuition is something that we really, really pay attention to.
Yeah, that would be the water phase. And so in the book, for each of the elements, I gave you ways of better accessing those elements so that you can more integrate them. So for the water element, it would be, journaling, meditating, more of a yin yoga practice. Dreaming and scheming. It's the dreaming and scheming phase. So allowing yourself to kind of daydream and let your mind drift off. And that's, it is accessing that more intuitive side of ourselves. And the more, it was the phrase, where attention goes, energy flows. So if you put attention on that, that's where intuition starts to blossom, so to speak. But some of these, wherever our missing element is we haven't been putting energy there. So, our attention there. So energy hasn't been flowing there. The reverse is true as well. And so we wherever we put our focus, we're going to get, just like a basketball player who just shoots 3-point shots all day. They're going to get better and better and better at that skill, just like your intuition, and putting focus on your intuition.
Yes, but the basketball player can't, if he's going to be on a team, he can't just only be good at 3-point shots, right? He has to be excellent. That's why they pay them the big bucks in the NBA, because they can do lots of things out on the court. And as you were talking, I could just see so many of my clients, and even my own moments, where I'm stuck and I didn't have your book. I'm stuck and I'm in tears. I'm crying. I'm exhausted. I'm worn out. And I somehow get to the next phase, but it's with a lot of drama and trauma, because I'm a fighter, so I can get there. But without all of that, and so some people aren't necessarily the fighters, so they can't push themselves through, which is also uncomfortable and not really recommended. You want to really approach all of this with calm and elegance, and you're just going to gain so much wisdom if you can be in each phase of this creative process, whatever you're creating, even if you're creating a relationship, because a lot of people get scared as they're falling in love, and then they crash and burn, and they can't make the relationship work.
Yeah. The way the 5 elements follow a relationship is, we always start in the water phase of that. I want a relationship. I'm a manifest. That's the water phase. And then you start taking action steps of getting on an app or whatever, going to the grocery, making yourself in a place to where you could meet someone. That would be the wood phase. And then you find someone, you fall in love, fire phase all the way. And then you get comfortable, earth phase. And then you start picking on each other. You're like, oh, you know what? If you could change that, that'd be great. And then you surrender and realize that doesn't work. You're back in the water phase. And then you kind of have a rekindling and then falling back in love with each other. And cycles keep going and going and going.
This book can help you in every aspect of your life, so you don't crash and burn, so that you don't fall apart and drive your family crazy and increase your cortisol levels, and then have to go back to your natural path for another 6 months and get balanced, so that you can move through all these aspects and allow your natural gifts and talents, which everyone has. Everyone is naturally gifted and talented.
Yes.
Everyone deserves to be loved and happy and healthy and wealthy and all of these things. And so now we actually have a blueprint.
Yes.
A literal gorgeous blueprint based on nature and ancient wisdom, so that we can accomplish all of our goals with ease and less boxes of Kleenex and our family mad at us.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm actually seeing a client of mine who, not too long ago, who just recently published a book, who cried for a while, before she could get over her hump.
Yeah.
And that's okay to have tears, but it's just so nicer if we can just flow through things, or at least be conscious that we're moving through an element?
Well, for folks who are primary wood element, it's that earth element phase that can be really challenging because you actually do need to set it aside for a while. And I'm in that phase right now I'm writing a memoir, and I just finished the fire phase. Yay. I mean, that was a big task for me. But now, like, setting it aside for and letting it marinate a bit and getting my attention off of it for a few weeks has been, so I'm kind of like beating myself up a little bit of like, no, I need to keep going. I need to keep going. But really, I actually need to, I'm promoting a book that I just birthed, number one, So I think a lot of times we have to, for those who are like go-getters in that wood element, because a tree, which is a wood element, can only grow as big as the earth element, the root system, the earth being the root system, can allow us for. So the interplay and how these elements work together are really important to know within ourselves.
So incredibly important. And something else that's changing in the United States, because, we've had, major publishers that were in charge of everything, that even, they publish more for wealth. And that's why we have weirdos that can publish books, that should actually maybe be indicted or things of that nature. But now we have all these other ways of publishing, and we have new publishers too. It's not as maybe more complicated as it has been for people, because in Iceland, 50% of the population is a published author.
Oh, wow.
Right. In the United States, it's less than 3% of the population is a published author. So, and writing is an extremely beautiful and co-creative process. It is very, very creative. So for all those people out there who ever wanted to write a book, now you have a lot of more things benefiting you that could allow that to happen. And of course, an incredible process. So if you want to be an artist, you're an artist and you can't seem to figure out what your medium is or how to sell it online or how to find links to galleries, or you want to fall in love. Now we have this beautiful book, Missing Element, Hidden Strengths, Apply the Natural Strengths of All 5 Elements to Unlock Your Full Creative Potential. Tisha, I love your book. My family's getting 2 books for Christmas this year, and yours is one of them. So thank you so much. It is stunning and gorgeous. How can people find you?
TishaMorris.com. So just my name, TishaMorris.com. And from there, you can link anywhere you want to go.
Oh, it's amazing. We're so lucky to have you in the world to help us move through this process and maybe be able to be very calm in case something else weird happens in the world. Hopefully not a pandemic, but weird things happen. And it's so nice when we can have information written out to us by a very caring, intuitive, conscious, highly educated person who can help us navigate through life. So thank you so much.
I likewise, Marie, with your work. I have the highest respect for your work in the world as well.
Well, thank you so much. This is a gem, a beautiful, wonderful gem. I'm thrilled that we got to talk about it today on the show. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. And we'll be right back. I believe we'll be taking callers' questions very soon.
All right, all clear, ladies.
Okay, thank you. I love your book. I love it. And I'll be calling you if I need some help, for sure.
Okay.
So,
which I probably will.
Thank
you. And the best of
Join
luck.
Marie
I'm
for
sure
a
you
brand
will
new 12-week course and learn how the power of prolific healing can occur when you witness all things through the lens of spiritual perception.
Such a good book.
The class will kick off January 18th. So visit the online courses tab at energyintuitive.com for more information and to secure your spot. Because it's all about healing through altered perceptions.
Have something important to say? Want to help improve our world? Need to promote your business uniquely and effectively? KKNW is the answer. Our staff helps broadcasters and podcasters create professional sounding audio. Bring your talent and let our experts help you craft a radio show or podcast that best delivers your message. Learn more at 1150kknw.com. That's 1150kknw.com. KKNW, talk variety that's live and local.
It's a challenge to convince a sick and frightened child that they needn't be afraid of the hospital. But it starts here at Encourage Kids. For over 30 years, we've been focused on making all of our pediatric partner hospitals a better place to get better. Encourage Kids provides the resources and the funding to bring relief directly to hospitalized kids through uplifting activities and positive therapies, resulting in smiles, magic, laughter, and hope. To learn more, visit encourage-kids.org.
Hello, I'm super excited to be teaching my very first 8-week course all about your spirit guides, titled Come Meet Your Spirit Guides. It will be a fabulous, fun-filled 8-week course of delight through which we will encounter your devoted guides. Unlike my small coaching classes, this is brand new. We will have a much larger class open to many students and available for a much lower fee. Students will have access to a magical learning page that will include a welcome video, access to the course workbook, weekly course recordings and greetings, as well as some more magic or bonus type content. This class will kick off on February 6th. Visit the online courses tab of energyintuitive.com for more information and to secure your spot. I can't wait for you to meet your spirit guides.
Alternative Talk 1150. It's good for what ails you. This statement has not been evaluated by the FDA.
So we were talking about with Trisha Morris today, Missing Element, Hidden Strength. Just really, really beautiful book. So happy she took the time to write it and to put all of that knowledge in a wonderful book for us so we can read it and heal ourselves, move forward, find those missing elements, and do all the manifesting we want in the world. How exciting is that?
You got it. And it's Tisha with no
Thank
R.
you.
Yeah. And it's TishaMorris.com. There you go.
Thank
All
you
right.
so much.
You're
Thank
welcome. 877-825-8828 for the Marie Manuchehri show is happening right now for the rest of the next half of the hour. So let's go right to them. Waiting for, our callers have been waiting so patiently. I'll get it out.
Yes, that's so nice. Thank you so much. And they got to listen to a fun interview.
Did. They certainly
so that's
did.
Really, really lovely. So who can I help today?
Yeah, we'll take Lori from Florida. Hi, Lori.
Hi, good morning.
Morning.
Good
How are
morning,
you?
Lori. What can I do for you?
I would love a little mediumship reading.
Oh, I love mediumship. Okay.
Me
Okay.
too, me too.
Okay. Are you looking for a woman by chance?
Either or, I'll take whoever wants to come through.
Okay. Well, the first person I'm feeling is a woman. She's a
Okay.
little loud or forceful. Does that make sense?
I'm not sure. I think in business she could have been, but I didn't know her that way.
Really? Okay. So, this woman is forceful from my perspective, but of course you would know her better than me. She's actually even complaining that I was on the interview too long, that she's been waiting and waiting to have a conversation with you. Does that
Okay.
sound more like that person?
It could, yes, it could be, yep.
Okay. Is there kind of a wave in their hair or a curl in their hair?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, good. So I'm like 90% accurate when it comes to hair. So I just want to make sure. I think we're on the same person. This person just loves you, loves you, loves you, loves you, loves you so much. It's almost like I want to say that this is your mom, but I don't think it's your mother. If it's your mother, it's like she was like your best friend. Does that make sense?
No, it would be my grandma.
Oh, wow. So was your grandmother like your best friend?
Yeah, I really loved her a lot. I was very close.
Oh my gosh. Wow. Yeah, because she wasn't fitting into my, normal categories, because we don't always become best friends with our parents or our grandparents. Although thankfully, my children's, a couple of them do tell me I'm their best friend, which makes me very happy.
Yeah.
Not that, no pressure, girls, no pressure, ladies. So yeah, it's your grandmother. And I think she was kind of hip, like she liked the youth. She
Yeah.
liked young energy, which kept her really young and youthful.
Yeah, she was, yes.
Yeah, she's lovely. She's telling me that you're on the precipice of something really major in your life. Would you agree with that?
I hope so.
well, she is saying you.
I hope she's right.
Yeah, people on the other side are always right. They can see everything, past lives, future lives. They're very, very much into, they can see everything. And she wouldn't say that if she didn't feel it was true. So you're on the precipice of something very transformative to you. And she's telling you this because she doesn't want you to give up, because you keep giving up just a little bit. You're not someone who gives up. You're like me. You hold on, to the bitter end, but you can lower your vibration. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And then you're not sending that positive energy to that part of your life that you want to manifest. She goes, honey, you're very, very close. It's happening. You're in the transition. Don't give up. Put more positive but relaxed energy into it. That's what she's telling you. Okay.
All right. Yeah.
Okay. She loves you very much. She's kissed you all over your face. You've got like lipstick all over your face right now because she's wearing lipstick.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Have a beautiful day.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Lori, for joining us from the Florida area, 877-825-8828. Our next caller will be, it's Aaliyah calling in from LA, and unfortunately the line is a little scratchy, but we'll do our best. Okay there, Marie?
Perfect.
All right, so Aaliyah, welcome to the show.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, Aaliyah, what can I do for you?
Hi, I have changed everything in my life. I am leaving Los Angeles soon, moving to Seattle, closer to you.
Wow, great. Welcome welcome to the Northwest.
Right?
Yeah.
Thank you. And I also left my challenging job, so already have some great ideas to come next. But yeah, I just wanted to see if you could maybe read my energy or talk to my spirit guide, something that will, I guess, help in this huge time of transition. I have been listening to your podcast a ton, and it's really helped while I make some big moves.
I'm so happy. I'm so happy for you. I'm so happy that you've made all these changes because, like you said, it's not the easiest thing to do. Everyone's a little, it's scary to leave where you live, change your job, move, to some other part of the country, but it's really healthy. You're on the right track. All of your chakras are taking in energy right now. Every single one of them. So you are definitely in alignment. And the universe says, pay attention to those great ideas. Really pay attention to those great ideas. Maybe get that missing element, hidden strength, just so you can kind of make a checklist of where the missing element might be so that you can not have to get too upset if something goes a little interesting, or if you need to spend a little bit more time in a certain area of your life. But no, you're on the right track. You're going to have so much fun. And although what I'm about to say isn't really good news, globally speaking, but Washington State, Seattle area, like we haven't had rain in I can't tell you how long. Luckily, everything is still pretty green. It's warmer here. We have blue skies. I think we're turning into California. California is kind of a little bit like the desert now in some areas. So it might feel a little bit more like home than you expected.
I see.
Yeah.
I'm
so
definitely
as long as the global warming doesn't get too much worse, the Northwest, we're kind of like, I hear people saying all the time, I'm so much happier. Like the sky is blue, completely blue, even right now. It is stunning.
That's that vitamin D, Marie.
I know, which means maybe Northwesterners need to cut back on their intake of vitamin D. They might have to go get their vitamin D tested just to make sure.
We're like coffee people. We like espresso shots of it every once in a while. I think. Maybe like that.
Right. So I'm excited for you. You're going to have a lot of fun, and great job. Congratulations on following your inner wisdom. It's wonderful.
Wow. Okay, great. Not much to do. I'll definitely get that book. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Have a good day.
Yeah, thanks, Aaliyah, for joining the show. 877-825-8828. And we'll take now Chelsea calling from Vancouver. Not sure if it's in Vancouver to the north or Vancouver to the south, but we'll find out. Hello.
Hi, Benny. Hi, Marie. I'm in Washington.
Yay. Vancouver
hi,
to the south.
Chelsea. How are you?
I'm good. It's beautiful out here. It's really cold, but I'm loving it.
It is cold. It's like it's probably not even in the 40s yet this morning. It's been very cold. I've been ordering extra clothing from REI. I have to walk Charles. And so now I've got layers of like wool and, oh my gosh, hats, gloves, just, yeah.
That's how we do it
can
around here. We're layered people.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
What can I do for you?
Well, I have a question about my relationship.
Okay.
I'm with my fiance, and I kind of just got to this make it or break it place. I feel like recently it feels very deep to me, and like very intense inner shifts. And I feel I want to be in this relationship. I think it's the right one for me. But he's a little, I think he's hurt, and I think he's kind of cut off a little bit right now.
Well,
I'm just wondering what.
Yeah, I actually agree with you. I keep seeing a picture of one of my daughters while she was engaged with her now husband, and they had a moment. I don't think it's been as long as your moment. They had a moment where she's like, Mom, if this doesn't change, I don't know if I can marry him. I'm like, okay, honey. And he just had to go off and rethink a few things, and then they came to an agreement. It has been, that same topic has been a little bit challenging, in the relationship, but they have an agreement about it. So unfortunately, your fiance has not done a lot of inner work. Agreed?
Yeah.
So this is a problem. So he doesn't really know what he really needs or what would be in his best interest. So it would be great if he got some therapy before you guys got married.
Okay.
And if he doesn't want to get therapy, maybe he can go see a coach, somebody who's going to do some somatic healing for him, or a hypnotherapist, but because you're not budging on this topic. And and he needs to, it would be in his best interest to be more accepting of this topic, whatever it is.
Okay.
But I am seeing my daughter, and she did get married, so I think that's a very good sign. And they've been married for a while, so I don't think about this moment. It just spontaneously came to me. That's what intuition's like. It reminds you of certain things that are related to the conversation.
Okay. Should I just give him space right now? Is that like
I would, because you're going to be mad at him. You're going to go, what are you talking about? You're going to be mad. So I think you should give him some space, but let him know that he needs to do some inner work.
Not too much space.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. We should listen to the male voice in the room.
Well, I'm just saying, like, you put a boundary on it. Like,
yeah.
Don't just be like, hey, take your time, whenever, because sometimes that just, all right, you know what you need to do. I'm just kind of putting.
I think too, he's probably asking people in his life, what do you think? And they're like, well, either this is not a big deal or she's right, and it's just hard for him. Sometimes we're raised a certain way to believe certain things. And then when we are with people that we love that believe in totally different things, it's a little challenging for us.
Yeah. Okay.
Have either of you been married before?
Oh, yes, we have. There's a lot of
really
hurt from the past for both of us. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, you guys don't feel that way at all to me. You feel like really brand new love.
That's why I asked the question.
Right? Yeah. And which is a good sign. That, not that, people who've been in other relationships, of course, can, have other relationships, but it feels like very brand new love.
Huh. Okay.
It felt fresh.
And, right, it does. And maybe just tell him, honey, I love you so much. I know we can work through this. I love you so much, but I'm, but this is a big deal for me. Whatever it is.
Okay.
Whatever it is.
Okay.
Okay.
Right. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Good luck.
Yeah, you got it, Chelsea. Do work. All right. 877-825-8828. And we'll take a Danae calling in from Southern Oregon, just a little bit south of, looks like Vancouver, from our previous caller. Hi, Danae.
Hi.
Hi, Danae. How are you?
Good. Thank you. It's so great to talk to you.
Yes, you too.
I had a question about, I'd like to get a reading like on my energy field, but then also see if you had any advice. I have had this debilitating fatigue for a long time now that I just really like to get through.
Yeah, you're tired of it. It's so annoying, when you have fatigue and then you're tired of the fatigue. It's such an annoying thing. I did draw out your energy, and you have a massive leak in your heart chakra, which when people leak energy in their heart chakra, it's hard to heal. It's hard to stay healthy. It's of course, it is exhausting. It creates kind of like a fatigue sort of syndrome. So people who leak from the fourth vortex usually do it because they're highly empathetic and they care about others. And when they read the news or even just look at homeless people or some other event in the world that doesn't make them happy, they leak up their energy. Like me lately, if I read about Iran, I have to like recalibrate my energy because I just want to give all of my energy to every Iranian woman and citizen, but every woman and young girl in Iran. It just kind of touches my heart. So you're going to have to learn to stop feeling overly empathetic for everything.
Okay.
How does that sound?
And that'll help the fatigue.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
But do you know what that means? Like, stop being so overly empathetic. It doesn't mean you don't care. You're always going to care. You're always going to be a compassionate person, but you have to stop leaking your energy.
Yeah,
so maybe you'll have to tell, pardon?
It's hard to do.
Yes, you might have to tell your body, honey, we'll do what we can. Like if there's an organization that I could write a check to for Iran, of course I will. Or like I've sent little monies to people who are feeding Ukrainians, so things that I can do that I can afford or that could be helpful. We can do those things, but don't leak your energy. Your energy is precious and other people won't take it. That's the most interesting part, is that individuals, humans overall are not good receivers, period. But when you leak out your life force, it just hangs out in the ethers. It won't even be utilized, and you need it for your own body.
Yeah. Okay. That's great advice.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. So you need to talk to your body.
Oh, sorry.
So you have to talk to your body. Honey, we're not giving our energy today. We're keeping it inside of us.
Okay, we'll do. And I still have acne in my 40s.
Yeah.
What do you think that's about?
Well, it's probably hormonal. Do you take any herbs for your hormones?
I don't, but I'm high estrogen. Like when I've had my hormones run, they aren't things that should be causing this. And it's kind of been lifelong.
Right.
But I just felt like it should go away at some point.
Yeah, no, I understand. I had acne until my 30s. I actually had to take a very strong medication to get rid of it, which I'm not recommending because yours doesn't look cystic to me either. But the skin is governed by the 7 vortex, and it's about allowing the universe to help you.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. So much, you're welcome. But I would still take some herbs to balance your hormones anyway.
Okay.
Okay.
Good. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. Thanks, Danae, for joining the show. 877-825-8828. Let's travel to the East Coast, and we've got Mimi joining us from New York City. So hi, Mimi.
Hi. Thank you so much for taking my call, Marie and Benny. Well, I don't mean to be a Debbie Downer, but I'm going through an extremely traumatic moment in my life, and I thank you and spiritual coaches that I've been following, and I've been doing really well. Make a long story short, my peaceful, loving marriage of 25 years unraveled within the last 30 days, and my husband had multiple affairs throughout our marriage.
Mm-hmm. So it really wasn't a peaceful marriage, not really. I mean, he was running behind.
I'm going to say peaceful because he had such a stellar reputation among his friends and my family. Like this is a guy that will run into a burning building. He was a 9/11 volunteer. I mean, I could go on and on and on. I really was blindsided. But
I want you to know, although it is important that we listen to our inner wisdom, I want you to know he has been lying to you all of this time purposely, and everyone else, or the people who would not agree with that. He does have friends who also act the same way, and they have been protecting each other for years. So he has been lying to you purposely for years.
Yes.
Right?
I see.
Okay.
Yes.
So are you gonna divorce him?
Oh yes, for sure. Yes.
Good. Congratulations.
I'm keeping a peaceful household for my daughter. I'm a New York City teacher. Actually, don't even get through now because I had to take a 3-day leave. I broke down. I was hiding this for a month, and I finally opened up to my family this past weekend, and even the principal of my school was very supportive.
Aww.
Yeah, and
I know this is really hard, but this is really, really important for you because you're a very powerful person. But when it comes to love, especially like a partner, but probably even kids and other people, you always believe what people tell you, the people you love, you trust them. You think that they're like you, but not everybody's like you. There are a lot of people in the world that are younger souls who easily lie and believe their lies. He has a lot of narcissistic energy in his system. And so this is to help you to learn to listen and believe in yourself.
I do. I really do. Marie, I thank you and so many because I meditated. I found this out first week of October. I thought it was just a one-time affair, and I was thinking of forgiving him for the sake of a marriage for me. I meditated, and in my meditation, I asked my spirit guides. I said, "Is this happening to me because I need to forgive, or is this happening to me because the next half of my chapter of my life is going to be without him?" And I got a vision of a road with grass on the side and a horizon. And they told me, when you see this picture, it means you're going to walk the next chapter of your life without him.
Yeah.
I'm like 3 years away from
I'm
retiring.
so proud of you. And you're right. Like if this was just, because if we've been with someone for a long time and we love them and people make mistakes and, one kind of fling or something, that could be something that you guys could work on if you felt comfortable doing that. But you're right. This is absolutely, unless you want to have an open marriage, then that's a totally different experience. Then you get to have a whole bunch of relationships too.
No, I don't.
I know you're not that type of person. You have very high integrity and you never even consider cheating. It's not something that you would consider doing, having other relationships. So I'm very proud. We had an eclipse. That's why this happened. You found out now. We had such a powerful eclipse, and eclipses show light in the darkness. So people get surprised all the time during eclipse season. They wake up, their life was one way before they went to bed. They wake up and their life is completely different. So I'm
so true.
very proud of you.
Was revealed to me in 30 days, and I wasn't even snooping. It all came to me. That's the amazing thing. It was like, it was just, I guess it was the right time for me to know. I don't know.
Well, it shows that your intuition is opening up. You're becoming more psychic and intuitive. And when you become more psychic, you start to see things you would never want to see, by the way. Like, it is liberating, but you're like, oh my gosh. And it's so shocking. But this has a lot to do with your psychic ability, which is even more exciting. The eclipse brought something to light for you, and your psychic ability allowed you to follow through on the feelings that you were having, and you got great clarity. I'm so happy for you. I really am.
Thank you. Marie, my concern now is not him, is me. How are my chakras? How could I was waking up in the last month with panic attacks in the middle of the night, and I've never experienced anything like this before, and I kept it in because I didn't want my daughter to find out. She's, so my concern is me now. How is my energy? How is my chakras? What can I do?
I love that your concern is you now. That's where it needs to always be, because then you'll attract a healthy partner, but your energy looks great. So your mind might be telling you things are off, but actually things are moving into alignment. So your energy looks great.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you. Have a beautiful day.
Thank you so much.
Alrighty.
Yeah, thanks, Mimi, and good luck to you for sure. 877-825-8828. We'll probably take one more. We'll sneak it in before the end of the show. Teresa from Michigan. Hi, Teresa.
Hi. Thank you for taking my call. I'll make it really quick.
Sure.
If it's possible, could you tap into my younger sister? We're having kind of a little bit of a chaotic time right now, and she's been kind of dumping on me, and everything's my fault, and I'm like, what's going on?
Well, and here, you're really interesting. I've only got 3 minutes, but like, she's problematic and you want to help her. I think you need to learn to set some boundaries. She's very disrespectful to you and has been many, many times. So instead of trying to figure her out and fix her, I think you need to tell her that she's not allowed to speak to you that way.
Okay.
Well, that was quick and easy.
Yeah.
That was
really
amazing.
Appreciate it.
Oh, you're so welcome. It was my pleasure. It was my absolute pleasure. Yeah. And she's not going to like it, but she shouldn't speak to you that way. You don't deserve it.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. I love it. You're a gem.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
You're very, very welcome.
I love that. You got like Marie's marching orders, and she's like, I'm on it. Let's do this. That's great.
Exactly.
Well, since that went so quickly, 2 more minutes to go. Let's just take one more. It's Margaret from Oregon. Hi, Margaret.
Hi.
Hi.
I'm glad I got through.
Yep.
Me too.
I'm mostly calling for my mom, but also myself and my siblings, because I lost my dad 2 months ago. And my
I'm
mom
so sorry.
Has really been wanting to know how he is.
Well, believe it or not, when people leave their body, they're excellent. So just imagine you and I, your mom and all your siblings, we live on the lowest vibrational time-space realities in all of the cosmos. So it doesn't get worse than Earth. And your father is now in the heavens, having fun, relaxing. I actually see him holding a martini, if you will. It doesn't mean he's drinking because he doesn't have a body. He's just showing, honey, I'm relaxing. I'm fine. It's happy hour here all the time on the other side. He's your dad's kind of slightly torn because he can see you, all of you, and hear you and he knows what's going on in your life. He doesn't have any separation at all. He's shocked how much his family misses him. He goes, I knew they loved me, but I didn't realize how much they loved me. He goes, I'm a little shocked by that. He goes, and it's of course still early. It's only been a couple months, so it's going to take everyone a while to adjust to his passing. He hopes that at least one person in the family will raise their energy high enough so that they can regularly communicate with him and pass information on to the family. But of course, he's perfectly fine. No need to worry about him. He says the energy needs to be on yourselves and how you recover from grief and be able to move on without him on planet Earth. That's what he says.
Thank you.
And your mom will be better in about like next summer, like end of spring next summer. She's finally going to go, okay. I promise she's going to be better next year. Okay.
Okay, good. Thank you.
I have to go. I'm so sorry. Benny's playing the music. I have to go. Thank you so much, everyone. Beautiful blessings. Bye-bye for now.